My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I am.
We welcome back Shiv Conley to the programme. Shiv, not only welcome back, but welcome back to Street 66. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. I can't wait now for tomorrow night. It's been a long, 16 months at this stage. Yeah, so I'm absolutely delighted and excited and every emotion. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Now, the last time you and I spoke, people were talking to me and saying, how are they surviving? Most businesses would have collapsed, but you were saying a lot of it was down to not only the loyalty of your customers, but also your suppliers and your relationships as well. How important has that been?
Yeah, it's been extremely important. We've had constant support throughout the last 16 months. All my suppliers have been very good. They've taken back the stock, they've given us credit for the stock, and the support from the community has been exceptional, and they've kept me going all along. Yep. Just messages, letters, phone calls. It's just been unbelievable. So there's no way that Street 66 would have been closed forever.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me now, the good news is you were originally trying to persuade Dublin City Council to pedestrianise Parliament Street. They've agreed to that essentially as a trial run for, what is it, 6 weeks?
It's a 6-week trial, and it's from 6:30 on a Friday evening until 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. and it's it runs from Friday until Sunday. So it's literally 15 hours over the weekend for the first few weeks, but then in 5th of July hopefully we'll be open indoors as well, so we'll be able to have a combination of both going on.
Okay. And
then eventually we are aiming to get the street structured so that we can have seats outside and make it an open air summer. So
let's just talk about the nitty-gritty of it. You're opening on the 7th of June. Sorry, is it the 14th? No.
So tomorrow is the 14th.
It's the 14th of June. No, the 13th of June, isn't it? Is it the Friday the 13th?
It's Friday the 13th, okay.
Friday the 13th, but hey,
you're not superstitious.
Who's superstitious? How is this going to work? Are you going to be able to have seats outside, or will you be allowed to have people come in, or what's the situation? Because I know you were very critical and you weren't able to serve pints out the way others were, but yeah. How is this going to work?
So basically at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, Dublin City Council will be blocking off Parliament Street completely. Yeah. So they're allowing all businesses to have a section, and they will have the red and white barriers outside all the different places. As most of the street, there's like 16 out of 20 are hospitality, so little coffee shops and restaurants, and 366 being the only bar. So what I have is I have a loading bay outside, and then I'm allowed to have 1.5 metres outside that.
Okay.
So basically that area will be, I have it all mapped out at the moment that I will seat approximately 60 people. So we have everybody social distancing, and we have sanitised areas, and everything will be running smoothly. And the only thing is that it's first come first served, because because it's such a small area in comparison to the whole community.
Sure.
I don't want to let people down by not being able to keep their booking for them, and also I cannot risk people taking the booking and not turning up and then having the area, because it's such a limited time. I've only got literally 5 hours. Yeah. So I am so excited to see everybody again. More than anything, and to get back to our home at Street 66. Yeah. So it'll be difficult to gauge tomorrow night, and I probably would recommend that people kind of move around, because it's going to be so difficult to have seating for everybody.
Yeah. Is it time restricted? In other words, if somebody rocks up at 6 o'clock and perhaps has a booking and everything, are they allowed to stay for the full 5 hours, or are they restricted to a certain amount of time? Because bars are slightly different to restaurants, are they not?
Yeah, so for tomorrow night, I will be, whoever comes in, whoever gets to get a seat at 6:30 can stay as long as they want.
Okay. Yeah.
And then tomorrow night will be a learning curve for myself and all my staff. So then maybe Saturday I might have to tweak a few things, because the last thing I want to do is have to refuse somebody or upset somebody. But I'm presuming that people will move between all the bars, between the George, Panty, Penny Lane and ourselves, and kind of move around. Now the street, because the whole street is being pedestrianised, and we're kind of working together, all the businesses are working together. The other businesses will have tables and chairs outside, and they will allow Street66 customers to sit there as well.
Okay,
so because they've been very quiet, this area, because the bar has been closed, that they're also relying on the street to be a little bit busier and bustlier for their business as well. So we're all kind of working together. So it'll be like a little market kind of area where people can eat and drink, and we'll be the only bar literally.
Almost continental.
It'll be very continental.
Hate to be basic about this, but I mean, because people are drinking alcohol, they'll occasionally need to have, as we say, a comfort break. So I presume they'd be allowed to come in here and use your facilities in here, is that correct?
Yes, of course. So basically I have 2 doors at the front of the premises, and I have a big sign, entrance and exit. So, and I have a line going through the middle of the bar. So you will enter through on the left-hand side and exit to the right-hand side. I have security, I have COVID officers, and everybody will be walking around at all times, including myself.
Sure.
So we will make sure everybody is comfortable and no one feels at risk in any way. And we've soap dispensers, we've hand sanitizers everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah. Now, everybody knows that one of the great attractions of Street66, apart from the beautiful people that come here, you're a music venue, and people love to come up here for the music. Are you going to be able to do that in the first, shall we say, trial period, or is it mainly going to be a chat event?
So it's mainly going to be a chat event, but I have set up, I will have set up my decks in the front of the bar, and I will have on low volume, in small little speakers, a little bit of 80s, 90s party music on a low volume, so it'll be more or less background music.
Yeah. Well, look, as I say, after one has had a drink, it's easy to get into a groove, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you're being underestimating just how loyal people are to this premises, because people I've been talking to, the numbers they're saying that they just cannot wait to turn up, and they cannot wait to re-engage with the place. It's I think it will surprise you.
Yeah, this bar has, as I said many times, it's for everybody. It's a community bar, and I can't wait. People will be looking forward to seeing their friends they haven't seen in ages. And we have always made sure it's a safe space, so I just can't wait. It's a community centre.
Sure. Yeah. The other element as well that I was talking to Menenia Griffith about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and she was saying just how much the LGBTQ community has been impacted by COVID, because a lot of people, their isolation has kicked in, mental health issues have kicked in, and particularly with with people who are younger, who may be living at home, who may not be out in a whole range of things. This is going to re-energise them in that sense of the word. So I think people need to appreciate you're not just selling alcohol, you're actually, as you say, you're providing a massive community service.
Exactly, yes. You've summed it up there.
Yeah.
Basically.
Tell me this now, Jim, and I've got to ask you this, because the last couple of weekends in Dublin have been quite controversial, and I'm not going to go into this one way or the other. Have you had any discussions with the Gardaí? Because the last thing you want is to have this ruined by some drunken hooligans coming along, particularly ones who may be homophobic.
Exactly. So I have had engagement with the Gardaí, and the Gardaí have been engaging with the different premises all over the city. So personally, I will not be doing takeaway beers. I will just be selling beers to the customers within the perimeter, and we have security on the street protecting all our patrons.
Okay, so that's for all the businesses.
For all the businesses.
Yeah.
So we're all working together. That we will not be happy if people are bringing their own drinking onto the street and any antisocial behaviour. So we all the businesses on the street have got together, and we have zero tolerance for any messiness or whatever. And the street will be barriered off, and we will have security at both sides, as well as Dublin City Council will have a person on both sides as well. And as usual, the guards will be there in a few seconds if there's any issues or whatever. But we will, as businesses on the street, we will be up and down working. If we see anything suspicious or whatever, we will be on it straight away.
Yeah. Now, I know that you would love to see the street, and I suspect all the businesses would like to see the street pedestrianised on a permanent basis. Have Dublin, excuse me, have Dublin City Council given you any criteria by which they'll judge whether this should continue? Because I think most people, whether it's here or whether it's in Capel Street, they would love to see that. I mean, this is this street of all the others is probably the most ideal because you can do without the through traffic. You can have it all going up the quays. You've got it going up Dublin Street. They don't need to come this way. So have they given you any criteria by which you've got to meet that they would continue it on?
So basically, on Friday we got the message that the street has been pedestrianised for 6 weeks. And so far we haven't heard of any criteria we have to adhere to.
It would help, wouldn't it?
It would be help to get a little bit. I've received an email just to tell me exactly, because I sent an email yesterday to the Dublin City Council, and I've received an email this morning telling me of how much space they need on the street for fire brigades or ambulances for emergencies, and that's all I've received at the moment. So what we have as a business is our aim is to have everything running really smooth and work at our hardest to convince Dublin City Council and the public and people living in the area that we respect everything about this, and we don't take it for granted, and that we will try our best to make sure that we will protect everybody and make sure that the place is spotless and clean, and we would love to hear more of what the plan is, but I don't actually think there is a plan after that at the moment.
Well, if I could make a suggestion, invite the Lord Mayor down on one of the nights, and then perhaps, because there'll be a new Lord Mayor in July, perhaps invite her as well, and certainly invite as many councillors, just to show them that this is a good idea and it's in their interests.
Well, the Lord Mayor has been amazing, and she has always wanted streets pedestrianised and less traffic on the streets, and she's been amazing help, along with numerous other politicians, and many friends of the community and stuff that have helped us to get this far. Well, look, everybody knows their names themselves, so.
Oh, sure, no, look, I mean, we don't need to mention one over another, but put it this way, when Enda Kenny was running for election, he was very happy to be seen in the panty bar, so who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows? So, look, the good news is, turn up Friday, Saturday and Sunday for the next 6 weeks. The one downer in Ireland, of course, is the weather. What's the situation? Are they allowed, is it a bit of a washout, or will you have parasols?
I have parasols organised for the next 6 weeks, and if it's going to become a permanent thing, I have a plan. I have everything organised for permanent structure. But at the moment I have temporary, I have parasols on all the tables and everybody will have shelter. I can't guarantee heat, but I'm presuming in this time of the year it will be mid-teens to, no matter what the weather is like, so wrap up if it's wet.
Well, not only are you making an enormous contribution to the local LGBTQ community, I think you've got to make a huge contribution to revitalising Dublin tourism as well, because we've got a good reputation now. People like coming here, it's safe, it's fun, and particularly in the LGBTQ area. People know now that we are an LGBT. You just have to look at the flags down the quays and people know we're a friendly city. So I think once this gets out there, who knows, you might start getting some British accents and some German accents and American accents.
As the summer goes on,
I
hope to hear different accents, and everybody's invited. You know, everybody, we welcome everybody with open arms. We know so many people from all over the world that have been sending messages as well, so it'd be lovely to see their faces eventually, everything going safely and smoothly.
And with a bit of luck, this time next year we'll have a pedestrianised area for Pride as well. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be unbelievable.
Shiv, I know you've been working your fingers to the bone trying to get this up. I'm not going to hold you any longer, but look, everybody I know is absolutely delighted, and we're delighted for you as well, because your contribution to the community is hugely recognised. So best of luck with the reopening of Street 66.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your support for the past year and a half as well, and everything you do on the radio.
With a bit of luck, I might come down with my camera on one of the weekends and just talk to people and ask them how they're liking it.
Oh, lovely.
So, wouldn't that be great?
That'd be absolutely fab. Thank you so much.
Best of luck anyway, Shiv.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I am.
I'd like to talk to you about the 18th International Dublin Gay Theatre Festival. Usually it's held in May, but fortuitously this year it is being held to coincide with Pride Month. You're asking yourself, how can you have a theatre festival when all the venues and live events are shut down? Well, it's thanks to the sterling efforts of founder Ryan Merriman and all the staff involved and the writers and the actors that they have been able to continue with this great event in the cultural calendar. How is it happening? It's happening online. So you can go to a free online festival that will show 7 or 8 fantastic plays, some of which I'm going to talk to you about in a second. To find out more, the best thing to do is to go to the website gaytheatre.ie, and that will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about this year's festival. It will also tell you how you can find out more about the events and, in fact, how you can access some of those events. So without further ado, let us talk about some of the free-to-stream online events. They started last Monday on the 7th of June, and of course, because they're online, I think you'll probably be able to get them for quite some time. Unlike in the theatre, you can pick up a play, you can put down a play, you can come back to it, you can answer your phone, you can make a cup of coffee, you can even, dare I say it, have a bathroom break. So the beauty of having an online festival is that it's very user-friendly. I can assure you from what I've seen, are absolutely superb, and they all come highly recommended. So the first play I want to talk to you about today is called Conversations. It began streaming on the 7th of May, and it is by Emerson. It's by Emerson and Ward Productions, and it is described as follows. It says, while we locked ourselves down in 2020 and watched the world burn, we turned to Zoom to keep alive conversations and a sense of community. Conversations see 7 people do exactly that, from awkward Zoom dates to exasperating online rehearsals, Harry Potter fanatics to middle-aged keyboard warriors. This new digital production from award-winning writers Rob Ward tells 4 different stories that play out over our new favourite platform. Our second play today is called No Evidence. It was written and directed by Brian Merriman, with Carl Hayden as director of photography. It's a comedy and it's a drama, and it tells a love story set in 1980s Dublin when the definition of safe sex meant not getting a girl pregnant. Our double-gating guys always seem to land in bed together after a weekend party. They can't afford to leave any evidence of their secret relationships. Will they be caught out in an unforgiving Ireland? Remember, guys, no evidence. And of course, I'll leave that to your imagination as to what that in effect means. No Evidence stars Sean Stewart, Stuart Granger, Mary A. Woods, and Lisa Riley. Next up is a double bill brought to us by the Playhouse in Derry. They are called Proud to Be and Beyond the Labels of Me, and effectively they are describing LGBTQ life in Northern Ireland. They were written by Mel Bradley and directed by Kieran Smith. Proud to Be talks about isolation has exposed humanity not just to a virus, but the unavoidable self-reflection. Just how much does our cultural identity colour our experience with each other? What would be the landscape of connection look like if we were honest enough to speak about the experiences, or if we refused to carry labels? Beyond the Labels of Me, created in lockdown through Zoom with participants from the LGBT community by the poet and performer Mel Bradley and director Kieran Smith, this stirring new play for Fall Pride is the first of a new programme of theatre to be both performed live and streamed around the world from our theatre stage. The Off Switch is a drama. It was written by the festival director and founder Brian Merriman, and it is described as inspired by LGBTQ rights campaigner Mark Ashton and Pride the movie, the story of his Irish contemporary, a young man who grew up with criminalisation and now aging in what should be a welcoming community. Are we living in an equal society which Mark Ashton and his courageous generation delivered for our community today? Well, you'll have to watch this stirring drama to find out. It's highly recommended. The play No One Cares is described as a youth drama. It has been inspired by real events and real conversations. Somebody has written, "No one cares," across the side of a building in a small rural town. There is outrage mixed with concern for who the culprit might be. Various voices demand attention, and we learn the prejudices, ignorance, and anxieties that follow those who challenge the status quo by simply existing. Growing up in Ireland as a non-gender conformative queer person is a voice that is not allowed to be heard. This play is a bursary recipient from 2020 and is featured in the book The Plays Inside, Irish LGBTQ+ Plays from a Time of Isolation. That's be coming soon. It was written and directed by Sarah McKenna-Dunn. It stars Bernadette McDermott, Paddy Sheenan, Owen Yore, Sarah McKenna-Dunn herself, Liz O'Hanlon, Stephen Gillick, and it is based in Ireland. The play Calamity Jane Sends a Message to Her Daughter is a drama starring that well-known and highly talented actress, Maria Blaney. It's described as a rowdy 15-minute monologue and is a tribute to masculine women living in times when lesbian or transgendered identities were not understood. Accustomed to ridicule and contempt, Calamity survives through a combination of self-deprecating humour, myth-making, and alcohol, shrewdly propagating the myth about herself that will ensure her a place in history. Tess is a short, high-energy, rhythmic solo piece about a young woman coming to terms with her sexuality or lack thereof. The play is a bursary recipient from 2020 as well, and it is also featured in the book The Plays Inside, an LGBTQ+ plays from a Time of Isolation that's due to be coming out soon. It stars Saoirse Sinead. Another play having its world premiere at this year's International Gay Dublin Theatre Festival is A Reminder. Again, it was written by Brian Merriman, the festival founder, and it is described as a 20-minute monologue for an older actor. It considers the messages of our current pandemic as a reminder to the responses to AIDS, largely ignored in the 1980s, and the ongoing legacy of criminalisation and grief. It also stars Stephen Gorman. Beyond the Barricades is another production in conjunction with the Derry Playhouse. The world is in turmoil. We join Marcus and Cal on a youthful odyssey of self-discovery in Derry. With student riots in Paris, the Black Civil Rights Movement in the USA, the Women's Liberation Movement kicking off, and queer revolting in New York, how will this impact them? As they try to make sense of the real world of the Battle of the Bogside 1969, will they partake, or will faith intervene and change anything forever? It's been written by Michael Kerrigan, and again, it is in conjunction with the Derry Playhouse. Our next play. It is the story of James, a lonely gay university student from rural Ireland who is grappling with the blurry events of one dark night on a Dublin sports field where he met a guy he wishes he hadn't. As he struggles to remember what is real and what is imaginary, this energetic one-man show confronts gay online hookups, rainbow capitalism, and the issue of consent with humour, honesty, and nuance. As James takes us through the murky events of that night, he playfully deflects with stories of his astrology-obsessed friend Jane, his performatively woke flatmates Frank, and the new overpriced mindfulness app he has just discovered. Play was a bursary recipient in 2020 and is featured in our 2020 book, The Play Inside, Irish LGBTQ Theatre from a Time of Isolation, and that will soon be available to purchase online at the 2021 Pride Hub on Drury Street, Dublin 2. Dose is a new short drama by Rena Bryson. It takes place the night before Oisín and Patrick's wedding. Tensions rise as the couple face the consequences of their families merging, leading Oisín to reveal a dark secret he's been hiding from his fiancée. This is also a 2020 bursary and will be featuring in the book The Plays Inside, Irish LGBTQ+ plays. Man of No Importance is a rehearsed play reading that is also available to stream online. Above the local bookshop in a small weathered village in County Mayo, Philip sits surrounded by unpacked books and a super value pain au chocolat. Having arrived from Dublin after breaking up with his boyfriend, Philip finds himself lost and searching for meaning in the small coastal community. Man of No Importance is a short monologue which reflects on the nuances of loneliness, moving on, and running away from our past. In the quiet conversations with Phoebe, the bookshop owner, and the elderly locals, Philip mediates on the rituals of the city and whether a young gay man can find a new beginning in this quiet rural community. This was written by Marcus Bateson and stars Conor Murray. Play was a Larry Kramer bursary recipient in 2020, and that is also featured in The Plays Inside, Irish LGBTQ plays of a time of isolation. Our final play in this report on the 18th International Dublin Gay Theatre Festival is called Immaculate. It is based on a true story about Louise Matthews, who struggled to piece together the life of her uncle Anthony, who tragically died in the early 90s and whose cause of death has left many unanswered questions. Anthony was born in Belfast and left for London to live his life as a gay man. As Louise began to find out about his life, research took her on an immense journey of joy, elation, and sorrow as revelations about his past highlighted deeply conservative attitudes and threats to gay men living in London at the time, especially during the HIV/AIDS epidemic. The journey to find out his truth only led her into further mystery and shame, as so many gay men were forced to live in complete isolation or in many cases vanish into the periphery of society. Her lyrics and incredible music composition by Stuart Robinson and brought together through a digital online performance, Louise is determined to reclaim his life, get the justice he deserves, and celebrate those who are forced to hide in the shadows of society. This play is a 2021 bursary recipient and is featured in our new book, 18 and Coming of Age, The Director's Cut. Written by Louise Matthews and is also a world premiere.
My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say